A much more decisive decision being made here by CyberZen as they take Inferno and force us to a third map. And guys, this time at least, it wasn't too much madness, right? We saw a bit better form in Counter-Strike. Pim's already shaking his head a little bit there because maybe you don't agree with that.
I'm not sure if I don't agree. I definitely agree that it was better than it was in the first map. I think Inferno is a map that doesn't allow to sort of to make the same mistakes that we saw with Mirage.
Yeah.
You know, when you have a bomb site, it's hard to mess it up, so to speak. It's hard to make sure that you lose control. Right? They did try a lot of times. There was like many scenarios. That's what I don't get. You know, we have a series in our hands where CyberZen is looking in control. They're winning 16-9. You know, you'd say they could even win bigger if they wanted to. Yet they still made, I could count like 7 or 8 mistakes. Where I'm thinking to myself, what on earth is going on? What goes through your mind right now to make you do that decision? If they would just skim out some of those mistakes, this would be a team that easily would win against Aequus Club, a team that I could see even give a fight to Greyhound and even out those mistakes. But so far, I just haven't seen it. Whereas for Aequus Club, I think they played okay. You know, I expected them to lose Inferno, I would say, given the fact it was CyberZen's best map. And again, you know, CyberZen did step it up from what we saw in Mirage. But I mean, I'm not entitled to say this, but I think I'm disappointed in both teams right now. I don't think it's a high enough level right now.
Now, Aequus, he's the guy who stepped up for the Aequus Club side. He was looking a little bit strong as well, still across both maps, but just him alone is not enough when you're going up against a team like CyberZen, who literally just brought the pain from start to finish, right, Blair?
Yeah, I know. If it's just talking about pure firepower, I think Aequus is they did say he's a star player. He's also regarded as the finest player in the team. And he did show he does have what it takes to be that, you know, that top fragging beast, so to speak, right? And I think he had like 50 frags amongst like the 2 maps combined, which is great for him. But the thing with CyberZen is, despite all the problems they have when it comes to sheer firepower, they do have the people. 8Z or 8Z, how you want to pronounce it, whichever part of the world you're from. He had an incredible T-side. I think like close to 20 kills in like less than 10 rounds or something ridiculous. Just opening up sides, getting multi-kills here and there. We had Savage having a pretty an alright time as well. Viva was getting a lot of kills as well. Like everyone was putting in the numbers when it came to just getting the frags. But like you mentioned, Pim, they seem more in control. They seem much more composed, calmer, the way they're approaching this map, at least for CyberZen side. And I'm talking about the T side, where, you know, they had a plan, they stuck to it, they had it executed in mind, they just went for it and always worked out. The problem with Aequus Club was on the CT side. How many times did they just imagine this? There's 1:30 on the clock. And on a buy round, and they've completely given up Arch, they've given up brackets, they've given up quads, they've given up apps, banana, everything. You're playing 3-2, and there's still a minute on the clock, and the guys in the B bomb side are getting swarmed from all sides, from CD spawn and from banana. That should never be happening. Yeah. And that's the thing, Aequus did not know how to play the CD side on that map. And on the T side, it got destroyed before it even gets started, because I'll give kudos to CyberZen here. It was a little ultra aggressive, but that aggression shut it down. They did not get banana control whatsoever. I think we saw 4 spray downs or 5 spray downs, which just got bodied on that banana take, so to speak, right? So nothing much to write home about for Aequus Club, but then going to train, I have no idea what we're going to see now.
Well, that's the thing, right? We're going on to train, and this is actually a map where Aequus Club, we can't see anything of past results. Obviously, they would have practiced it, surely, but it's not exactly the best map for CyberZen either. So is this a real 50-50? Just throw it up in the air and we'll end up with a similar story as Mirage?
I'm not sure if it's a 50-50, because I do want to say, instead of all being negative about what we're watching right now, the individual levels showcased by some of these players that you were alluding to, you know, HC for that matter, you know, that's strong performance, and that goes for the Aequus Club as well. They have players who can play the game at a fairly high level, so that we can expect to see. It's just the team play composition right now that we are a little bit discouraged by, I guess. So train is a map, you know, that you can play in 2 different ways. You can play your brute force sort of play style, where you force your way into the bomb side, you rush the outer bomb side, you rush the inner bomb side, or you can play it more laid back, where you sort of like wait out the time and do some set executes. I expect it to be a mess. I expect it to be entertaining, and I expect CyberZen to win, because I do believe they have the better individuals when it comes down to the scenario where everything is just, you know, messing up.
But you agreeing with that? Do you think it's going to be CyberZen?
Yeah, I think CyberZen's going to take this one as well, because the thing is, the first map was, you know, was a close affair. Second map was much more confident showing. So just based off that, I think CyberZen should have this in the bag. All
right, well, let's see how it's going to go. Thank you very much for your time, guys. We're moving to train. It's the 3rd and final map. One of these teams is going to be going home, but which one is it going to be? It's time to go over to the commentators. It's Jason and Tom.
And we've already had an insane series kicking off here just in our first match of the day. We still have another one to come up. Greyhound Gaming are waiting for their opponents. It's either going to be a rematch with them up against CyberZen, or Aequus will have a chance to show what they got up against the Aussies. Tom, Train is definitely a strategically heavy map. Mirage was more puggy, Inferno was more strategically heavy. We saw CyberZen come out the better of the two. Do you agree with the Des? Do you think we're going to see CyberZen pull off the 2-1 here?
Yeah, I think we should do. I just still see those sort of like aggressive possibilities. Like that's the thing with this map, is the fact that realistically, okay, yeah, you have the set strategies, the set smokes, but I don't know how if either of these teams are going to do that too much. I think a lot of the time they're just going to go barreling into one of the sites and just try and take those pure aim battles. And realistically, then I have no idea who's going to come out on top, because it just depends who's playing what. It depends if the AWP's kicking off either way, our pistol underway, and yeah, the whole strategy element seems to be B.
And look at the defensive hold out of CyberZen. 2 towards Pop, ready to reinforce and flank from behind. The smoke's gone in. They're going to push straight through it. No one's actually going over towards upper either. Ball Jr. trying to make his way towards the back. Viva's being overrun on the side, but he gets one. Gets a lot of damage done onto Hydra. And Bottle Jr. What? The bomb was down. They backed away. That's all on Punked in a 1-on-3. And there's just thing is, lucky for him, there's no way they're expecting to come in from behind. The problem is he missed his first shots and Savage takes him down. And I don't understand actually there why they backed off. Were they hoping that with them backing away into safety, Punked would be able to get quite a few kills and then be able to rush back in? Look at confusion on your face is probably telling me you're not even sure either.
I have absolutely no idea. Maybe they wanted to go back and try and take the high ground or something of the sort, but yeah, no, honestly, that was incredibly confusing. And yeah, they've ended up being caught in the end, but well, we'll get to see whether or not they can actually pull anything off in this sort of round. This could be fast play, actually. They managed to get themselves in towards this B site and get the bomb down. They've already been far more successful than they were in the last. We'll see if they can do anything more with it. It's only going to be the Glocks. Lots of utility available.
Oh, that nade.
He's actually managed to just go above it. Or maybe not. Maybe not. He's going to be caught out by the flames in the end. And while Hydra up above, just trying to do some damage. It is going to be the spray down and eventually the clear out of this remaining player. There's no way that he can win this already. It is going to be just Savage sticking the bomb. Doesn't actually have a kit. In fact, nobody has a kit, but ultimately it is going to be them with the second round on the board. And Aequus with plenty of money, however, to buy into this next.
They got the money. Are they going to have the shot? CyberZen off to a pretty damn good start here. A couple of SMGs, actually, well, 3 SMGs picked up for them, but they'll be up against a majority of head armor on the side of Aequus. And Arquez, who was the top fragger for them on Inferno, will be picking up the AWP yet again. Curious to see what he can do here with it, though. I'm curious to see what position he would be going into. It looks like he'll be watching for some sort of push from Ivy.
Already. Opening kill goes the way of the CT side. The aggression on Ivy does manage to pick off one, but it's a very quick trade back in return. HZ a little bit wary of the push. Does just about manage to escape. Going to try and utilize his inventory to hold them back. And in the meantime, Savage has managed to catch up another one, playing with the AWP. We saw it onto Viva a little bit more when we were playing Mirage, but it seems like he's definitely picking up the mantle once again. Look at HZ. Oh, he's got the bomb. This is a big, big problem. He's managed to bypass a lot of plays. Got to be careful from Ivy, though, that he doesn't get spotted out, but he's going to hit any rotations back towards the bomb, or at least he should. I think he may have even spotted out one just around the corner, although I think he may have even confused himself.
Well, now they know that the bomb has been picked up because we saw them push out to try to check for it. Savage notices it's no longer down where it was prior. And he's going to get the kill onto Hydra. Savage going to push in towards the middle. He spots out Anarchaz, and Anarchaz has no clue, and he's going to fall for that. That's the bomb now down, and Punked again, the last man alive, flanking in from behind. He's got 4 players to find. He's given up his position. He's not able to hit the spray, and Savage is going to shut him down. CyberZen off to a strong 3-0 lead.
More importantly, Savage as well. Like, bear in mind, he's had a pretty good series so far. The first map was pretty damn fantastic and was one of the reasons they came so close to actually taking it. And while in this round again, he's the man to do all the damage with this AWP, defending the bomb and just doing damage all the way through. Either way, it is going to be 3-0. Just some pistols invested in from the side of Aequus. By the looks of things, they're going to leave the bomb down again as they attempt to try and take some control of Ivy. secondary AWP already going to be thrown in onto Viva, which a little bit more risky in this sort of round, but he's got Bottle to try and help defend him, and just together we see the dismantlement of this team. Nice shot from Asylum, though. He's even going to pick up a third. Lots of kills coming in with the Deke, and Sense well placed to finish off one more. Just a final shot needed, but can't quite connect. Still a hell of a lot of damage done, and one of the AWPs will be hitting the deck. It is going to be an easy rebuy, however, for CyberZen, but at least Aequus have made it easier if they manage to win themselves a round.
Well, they definitely need to start trying here. I mean, like you said, that was an insane amount of damage done by Asylum. No pun intended there, but it's unfortunate to get down to just that one-on-one situation, which we had happen so many times on Mirage, so many rounds that should never have been. And yeah, Aequus is, again, unfortunately falling on the short end of the stick here, at least when it comes to Train. Keep in mind, they still had a 7-0 lead on Mirage. I'm going to see if they can come back from being down 4. And a heavy presence towards Pop Dog here. And that was nades. And you got nowhere to run HD. That's almost 50 points of damage done to him.
Leaving TB still alone as that B anchor. Try and hold it alone, but the aggression once again. Asylum not ready for somebody to come pushing in, and again, A main control is lost for a second, and even just that little moment will give the sort of worry to Aequus, but now TB is going to be pressured. He's looking to try and round the corner. Headshotted by Ponct will take control, and more interestingly, the aggression that's come out for his teammate Hydra is going to be the problem, but Bottle will deal with him, remove any sort of presence, and now it's looking like the almost old-style Train with very, very passive positions, and this is not the way you want to be playing this map. This is not the way you want to hold on to the sites. The one saving grace could be Zensa, but already they lose one of the men on the sites. HZ is going to turn his attention, and now it's left on to Ponct as well, and he doesn't stand a chance. I think he knows it. Just going to try and hold on to the AK. Another round on the board for CyberZen. I think the big problem was just Hydra unable to do anything from his aggressive position.
That, and the fact that Ponct kind of walked away from lower at the same time. A player from CyberZen pushed up in towards, I think it was Savage right here. That kid right there on Anarchist just opened up it entirely. If Ponct was watching that position, he might have been able to keep his teammate alive, which means the AWP would have still been fighting. And there could have been a good chance that that could have been Aequus' first round on the board. Unfortunately, they will lose another. That's 5-0 for CyberZen, and they are taking a timeout here just to discuss some things. One thing I'm loving that we're seeing, though, Tom, is that CyberZen, with this delayed pushing towards middle, has caught Aequus off guard so many times.
Yeah, no, that is a little bit worrying for their opponents, though. The fact that you sort of see initial pop dog control, then they just go for a late flash into A main, and even though there's multiple players around that angle, like, you have to note, there were 2 players outside towards the spawn. Neither of them helped their teammate, who was just in there. He was dead. And by that point, CyberZen, they've taken the man advantage. And although they are a very aggressive team, a team that likes to take control of portions of the map, we just see them fall out. They're like, okay, we've got our man advantage, now we fall back to the site. And that's actually a bit more refreshing from them, like utilizing that advantage, not overdoing it, not staying put and waiting for the fights. But we now see a proper execution coming in from this T side. Lots of smokes, Molotov's Bottle being burnt down to just 20 HP, still manages to find himself a kill. Looking for a second as well, thankfully. Anarchist will hit the shot, and they have managed to trade it into a 3v3.
3v3 is not going to close out the round. HZ is going to get the frag onto Anarchist, and if it sticks true to what we know, it's going to turn into a 2-on-2. Every time. And Hydra and Ponct, though, it'll turn into a 2-on-1. Now, TB can be last alive to keep the streak alive here for CyberZen. So taking 5 rounds straight to the bomb, immediately going to piece out here of the outside bomb site, head directly over towards Itter, and Hydra will be able to get his second frag in that round. To more importantly, get Aequus the round on the board. Problem is, Viva had 10k. He's going to be able to drop for his teammates. If they can win this round as well, then they got a chance to start streaking together some rounds, right? That's where they can start getting some momentum going here of T-side Train.
Yeah, I do think that really they were a little bit lucky with that round again, because, okay, they hit all their shots, that's fantastic, but note the fact that they didn't actually gain any ground while their smokes and molotovs were thrown.
Right, yeah.
So if the CTs just stayed put and played in a bit more of a crossfire, we could have seen the round go the way of CyberZen. Either way, it's all said and done. They managed to take it, and we look towards the CT side to see if they can turn it back again. Of course, a 5-1 initial streak for them. Much better buy-in for the T side, and some holes in the buy for CyberZen, especially considering they won 5 rounds in a row. MP9 definitely not the ideal weapon for these sort of battles. Either way, Molotov going to go down. They're going to push into it, and they will overwhelm one, but it's only a trade. Nade onto the site could do a hell of a lot of damage. In fact, Asylum just survives with 2 HP, and Savage is doing work. Not only almost finishes off one, he does take the frag onto the second. Now the rotation's been available, and it's the same scenario as before. They've got no forward ground. They're just holding from the sites, and it couldn't be easier for CyberZen. And while they're hoping, I feel like that's a real last-ditch effort from Zensa. Well, you never know. Maybe they don't have a smoke or a kit, or just hands.
That would be very difficult to defuse.
To be fair, they probably had enough time to do it with their teeth.
Okay, I've just got nothing to say to that.
Basically, there was a lot of time in the context, all right?
I mean, they have feet.
I don't know, is it easier? Like, at least you can sort of... I don't know. Just pushing in the buttons.
With your teeth?
Yeah. You know,
why don't you use your nose,
your big
then?
toe might click 2 buttons.
I mean, for me, my nose is like a pointer. I can easily accomplish that. You want me to point something across the room? Bam. Let me look at it
we're not
for
all
you.
that lucky, you know.
Yeah, that's true. I want to have an amazing schnoz like I have.
Oh, we got a Nova on the T side.
Miss by?
No, tactical. Tactical Nova, you know.
Okay. I mean, on Inferno, I can understand. On Nuke, I can understand. On Train, I will have a little bit of a harder time understanding on T side.
He's going to take Pop Dog solo. Just go down.
Okay.
Bang.
All right.
Pop goes the head.
Well, either way, we're actually having a technical pause this time. This is not a tactical. But Aequus are using the technical to go into a tactical pause.
I think it was the other way around. It was a tactical, and then it became a technical. So someone was talking about the strategies, and then something broke. But yeah.
Was it the Nova?
Oh yeah, maybe that was it. He just like accidentally... Do you know what? They have actually... It looks like they've reset the round. So maybe someone like reset something on the keyboard. And in fact, no, Hydra's now just on the other team, and we've got 2 Zensas. So clearly someone from CyberZen has dropped from the server. I wonder if they do, or when they do reset the round, if he'll actually buy that Nova again. And then we'll know for sure if it's actually a tactical decision. But yeah, obviously just waiting to get our final man back into the server. And then we can get ourselves underway, because I believe... No, it's not. Who is missing? TB.
Hmm?
TB is not in the server.
But he's right here next to me. Hey.
Aha! Yeah. I need to stand up after that one. But yeah, at least in the...
another coffee after that one.
At least in the early rounds, we have been able to see CyberZen pick up a lot of decent rounds. The problem I have is every time the Aequus go into a sort of B-site hold, I feel like they need a second player to push up, because it's always one player pushing, they get taken down, and then it's like the way that Train used to be played, where the B site was pretty much the most retakeable site in the game, because you'd sit back, the only strategy anybody had was, don't worry guys, I've got a Molotov to bank off the door. Oh look, it landed on the bomb. That was it. That was the only strategy. No one had anything else. And then people are like, what if we go up to the connector, like throw a Molotov in there and then just take control of the rest of the site? I was like, that's not a bad idea. But Aequus are still like, they're trying, but it's always one man goes aggressive, the rest of the team sit back, they get the bomb down, and then CyberZen go, all right, we'll now retake you, because all the angles you hold are fairly easy to predict.
Okay, let's be fair though, at least we did see one round beside, yeah, that was actually with Hydra who pushed up inner. And they had a flank coming around the backside as well from Connector 2. The problem was the player there just turned around and popped him.
I feel like normally you need a couple of players pushing.
Right.
Because it's basically, at that point, you're hoping, you're basically, well, you're betting on him winning either a 1v1 or a 1v2 duel. And I just feel like that's way too much of a risk, especially once you already have the site. Like, this is all a moment where you are planting the bomb. Like, unless you're expecting someone to come on really fast in the like flank, I don't think you really need to gamble a second player there. So I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit more aggression from them when it comes to taking the B site, because in terms of actually getting the bomb down, it has been more successful. And does Hydra rebuy the Nova, or is he a cheater? Because technically he bought it. So if he doesn't, he's changing history. Oh, come on.
Maybe he bought it because he saw the player dropped.
Nah.
I don't know. Admining's not my job. Anyways, here we go.
So it was a misbuy. question answer for you, Jason. There you go.
I
Not
didn't
what you
ask the
wanted.
question.
You said, was it a misbuy?
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There you go. Question answered. It was.
I'm smart. Feel smart. HZ and Savage, though, able to open things up as Aequus try to pick up the pace, but at the moment they're just picking up their pace towards their deaths here, as it's not going to be a 4-on-2.
If only they'd had a Nova.
Yeah. Right?
Instead, fairly simplistic cleanup. It's only going to be Asylum left. Got his trusty Deeg and a little bit of Kevlar. Actually, there's nobody on the B side, but the rotation already comes in. TB going to go back to his trusty spot and just spotting to see if anybody is going to go for some sort of rotation in that direction. But the chance is Asylum isn't going to be able to get anywhere towards this site. He'd need some lovely one-taps or a mistake, and neither of those are going to happen. 7-1. A little bit of a turnaround from what we saw on Mirage with such an early lead coming in for Aequus now. They are the ones down and out.
Well, they're down, but they're not out just yet. I'm starting to feel probably the same way you are, and probably the same way they are, as CyberZen continue to chug along here and build up more and more momentum. But I feel like there still can be a chance. They just got to keep their composure, figure out a way to punish CyberZen somehow. It's just that it's so hard to do so when this aggression comes in at different times. You can't rely on them to do certain things, so you can set up strategies around it. And Viva's going to be very far pushed up. The smoke's going to go down. He's going to be rushed, though, and he hits the no-scope onto Asylum, sending him back to his room and back to the drawing board here. Even Bottles another kill. Where's the refrag coming in? Finally, they drop down and they do pull it off, but they still took a lot of damage nonetheless. That was about 60 between the two.
And the fact is the CT side have actually tried to bolster their defense on the other side of the map. Re-aggression coming in from HZ as well, as he'll now wait in pop. And this is the same sort of strategy we saw before, okay? They now start taking portions of the map. They're right in towards A main. They've got players defending B. Okay, if the T's go Ivy, then there's a big problem for the CT side. But again, they're going to be challenging these same sort of positions, and they've got to be careful rounding this corner. But Viva, he will miss the shot. Information has been gathered, and he's managed to fade away, even with the smoke being put down as well. So the T's are going to have to relocate, find another spot to try and attack. And everything just seems like they're forcing them into a B push, which is exactly what they want.
I wanted to single for the jump shot. But a great shot either way on the Punked. Now this inner push is going to be so damn difficult, especially with one man flanking from behind. They might even need it though. HZ going to come around the corner. He will die, but 20 seconds left. I don't think there's a real chance Aequus can get this bomb down, and as you see there, he's going to be completely shut down. The double up setup for CyberZen working wonders. And as you pointed out, this control they take, once they find out where a couple players are, they just start to inch across the map, take that real estate out of the hands of Aequus, and then it puts them in situations like this, where there's 20 seconds left because they're forced to retake spots that they should have had prior in the round. Not only are they taking a lot of time to do it, they're expending a lot of their utility to do so.
Yeah, I think as well, like if you look at towards the end of that round, Aequus did exactly what CyberZen wanted them to do, like almost to a T. Like, they had two players ready on B waiting for any sort of push. They took A main, they get spotted A main, they smoke it off. So even if you are the T side there, okay, you think maybe about going Ivy, but you know that they have A main, so that removes so many bomb plant spots that you could possibly have. It's such a risk, and you don't have that much time left on the clock. So you then go to B, where they have two players. You're just not going to win that. They're ready and set. Like, that's a site that most teams will just leave one man there to defend it, because it's not that difficult to do, and it's very easy to retake. So yeah, CyberZen pretty much just wrote the script for what Aequus were going to do there, and it was almost too easy.
And just to give you guys a quick update, since we do have two streams going on today, we have Ghostu up against Vici, as Vici was able to beat Beyond 2-0. It's actually 9-8 in favor of Vici currently on Mirage. It's going to be Mirage, Train, and Inferno if they do go to a third map. In the meantime, we're on our third map of our first game, as we still have another best of 3 to come up today to determine who's the second team through our group. And Aequus is just not going to have a chance here in that round. Should be a 9-1 scoreline here.
TB, a little bit questionable, and Asylum's actually going to get a bomb plant from this. I like it. He avoids the Molotov. Oh, yeah, just about. That's enough. That's money put into the bank accounts of Aequus as well, so not the worst case scenario, and it will be 9-1 though in favor of CyberZen. A very strong CT side by the looks of it. They're just burning down the clock a little bit to allow some time for weapons and different pistols and utility to be found, but ultimately not a whole lot to be picked up.
If it's possible, when we get back into the next round, can we see the streaks? I don't know if it works with the reset of the round that we had happen with the drop. I'm just curious to see what the streak is for CyberZen, because I can't remember what round Aequus did win. Okay, so they won round 6, so they're on max loss bonus. So the bomb plant definitely, it helps to get extra utility.
Yeah.
Maybe an op if they can afford for it. But it doesn't seem like anything's really working for them at the moment. I mean, Hydra, he's got 1,600 extra money and only bought a smoke.
Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one. Maybe just knew he was going to be going for such an aggressive play that he wanted to try and save the money and gives more of a chance for them to rebuy an AWP going into future rounds, but I would rather see you focus on this round than anything.
So you got to take it one round at a time, right? To get back into the game. You can't think about the long run. It's always that next round.
Well, that's basically expecting to lose if you do it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might lose, so I should have some extra money, but either way, it's looking like they're going to try to explode out upper, and there isn't actually much presence here at all. TB completely caught out as Savage was repositioning. The timing works wonderfully, but Savage is still, he's just hitting everything at the moment. 16 and 2. No one could put this man down. He's going to be doing even more damage. He's got to be careful, though, because Hydra's up close. Is he just going to walk past him? Still, Aequus will be able to put him down, and a second as well. This is better from the T side. Still, Viva left fighting. And even just a costly round here could be problematic. Bomb has been dropped. They're trying to retrieve it up above. He almost connects the shot, looking to try and cross over, but has to be careful. The AWP is still looming on Aequus. The fact is that they're both trapped in, and the peak, a risky one. The AWP, not really the best weapon for trying to sort of clear out these angles. I don't know why they're taking the fights. He goes for the push. The pistol will be enough if he can just connect the bullet. So Viva clutches it out in the end. CyberZen, they get their 10th, and it's off the back of this man. 4 kills. He's got $13,000. He's just absolutely balling.
And they did what you said, right? They finally pushed some players up. It actually looked good for them to take that round, but sometimes you just have these rounds that are so difficult to really accomplish much with. I'm surprised to see that shot right there. We didn't see the refrag happen.
Well, I'm more just worried, yeah, either peek together or don't peek at all.
Yep.
Like, he's got an AWP that, unless he somehow, like, spots your leg or something, he's not going to be able to clear you, and then the trade's really, really easy. Or, like, maybe have the AWP peek. I don't know.
It's not Angelina Jolie. You can't curve the bullet to get both of you, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But, I don't know, it's small things like that, you know, that separate, you know, a good team from a great team, is knowing how to pick up that frag and not losing those situations. But it wouldn't have changed the tide of the game, but and we've definitely got an extra round on the board and alleviated some pressure, and these spray downs are looking good. Bottle gets 2. HC is going to be there as well. It's all on Asylum again, up against 3. No utility to use, not a lot of HP. Might catch HC off guard, and he will. So it's becoming more and more possible. If he gets this frag somehow onto TB, or maybe on a Savage as he's pushing up towards the bomb, he actually could win this round. The thing is, you see Savage wasn't even looking towards him. He had an opportunity there, but obviously couldn't see what we see. And he's not going to fix Savage right behind him, but he turns! He gets the frag, and now in a 1-on-1 almost hits the shot against TV. And CyberZen will just barely come out with that victory in that round. 11-1. But now things are starting to get close here. That's back-to-back rounds where Aequus was almost able to secure it.
Yeah. Still, money, little bit of an issue. It's only really the loss bonus. They didn't get a bomb plant here, so Galil making its presence known in utility at pretty much a bare minimum. Auto sniper back in for Savage. I like it.
It worked against them though on Mirage in that round.
I know a lot of people hate it, but I like it. I think it's a fun weapon, and it's just brutal. And I'm a big fan of something like this.
So you might be able to say brutal, Savage.
Nope.
And
they haven't been wrecked yet.
As he gets a double.
Nice shot from Hydra, but yeah, eventually put down. Auto sniper going to be kept into the next, and still the bombardment continues. CyberZen looking strong on this CT side of Train, and well, no matter what Aequus seem to do, no matter how close the rounds seem to get, they've still only managed one.
And we have to think about the long term now, right? If CyberZen wins, or even if Aequus comes back and pulls off the victory, you got another best of 3 to play against Greyhound Gaming, and that's going to be even a tougher match for both these two teams.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if Aequus somehow managed to pull this back, They will have only played a ridiculously long series, but they will have almost lost to a team that Greyhound didn't really struggle against. If CyberZen win here, okay, they come off the back of a strong win, but they've still got to play 2 best-of-3s, whereas Greyhound got a bit of a line. Either way, Fever kicks things off again, but the overface will be caught. The confidence obviously there.
Little things like that, like the run boost, to just get someone across to make the operator miss a shot potentially and then get the frag, but no, they just face him with an AK. That's little things like that are just what we see in the difference between this Asia minor and things like the EU minor or even the CIS minor. And then also the lack of AUGs or SGs in this as well is a major difference between these regions.
We're so close to getting 2 kills there, instead gets none. That's got to be painful. Almost as painful as the scoreline. 13-1.
Jeez, almost as painful as working with you. All right, we're going to go that route.
Zenza, he has 1 kill.
I mean, when you're down 13-1, you can kind of understand it. Come on, give him an out.
I think he'd expect a little bit better than 1.
Jeez. Got nothing else to say to that. Bottle out, okay.
Oh, again, he's so good at getting these double spray downs, but the trades are coming in. HZ looking for more. He wants one of his own, but there we go. He doubles down. See? Called him out. He rises to the occasion. He's going to pick up his 2nd kill of the game. They know where he is, or at least they should. Fairly open position being held, but HZ's going to manage to cross over to the train where he is covered off. And TB, I don't know if he spotted the 2nd man. Over towards Olov. It's going to be the peak count. Nice work from TB. He can go for the 2nd, and that will be the half. Almost flawless for the side of CyberZen. Aequus, they have a mountain to climb after the break.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Asian Minor for the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2019 Major. This is just our first best-of-3 today, but is finally coming to conclusion as we're into the final half of our final map. Winner of this goes on to play against Greyhound Gaming. I'm Jason Kaplan, still joined by Tombiz, as we see a massive scoreline here in favor of CyberZen.
Yeah, let the comeback begin. Aequus looking to turn this around. They need to start off with a pistol.
Watch it happen now.
Asylum does manage to get himself one, at least a trade as the rotation already comes in from the CT side as they want to try and fight this one back. However, not so good so far. Hydra needs to connect the shots and isn't quite able to. He will go back a different angle, and that's enough. Drops the bomb as well. Viva's still there with a P250. He's given the mini raid boss, and he's hoping to do the damage. Managing to find one, but it's a trade back, and Savage on the flank. He's connecting, but not quite enough. 14-2. It has begun, Jason.
I almost want to say we're going to go like the full distance now because of that. But one round is not going to be enough to change the tide of how this game has gone.
If it does, I expect like Imi to be breakdancing by the end of it.
I expect you know, Bankston to shake hands after what he said to, you know, off the get-go about him from Liverpool. I mean, it's not like Manchester's any better. Anyways, round 17, CyberZen not gonna go. We're not really gonna force into this round. Just gonna have a Deagle, 250. They won with less, so that nade's not gonna be where it wanted to go.
Close.
But no
Fine
cigar.
margin. Oh, yep, it'll be the possibility to buy into the next round for CyberZen that gets them the save here. Most teams do this. Pretty much all teams do this. If you don't manage to get a bomb down, there's not really a reason to force, so they will just be saving. Then again, they aren't most teams. But I feel like after Mirage, we did see a bit of a calmness in a sense. And in this map, while most of their aggression, if not all their aggression, has actually been very successful. So it's kind of hard to fault them if Aequus are unable to do anything. In this round, at least, it's looking like the Famai alongside the UMP are able to do the damage. And, well, realistically, the T's are just hoping for a bomb plant, but it's not coming. They'd have to kill off Asylum, who sat in the corner, and there's a second player there. They'd pretty much need some sort of miracle or a big mistake from this CT side. And I feel like they're very well positioned for this sort of take and already looking to just clean things up nice and comfortably. Oh, there's no way.
Well, there's a will, there's a way, Tom. Clearly, CyberZen have massive amounts of will to go with their massive lead that they have. So we can be able to buy up even further into this round. It's do or die time for Aequus. If they lose this map, then they are out of the entire tournament.
Yeah, pretty much. That is it. There's no more second chances after losing, obviously, in their opening game against the favorites, to put it lightly, Renegades. Well, there's a reason we have the sort of seeding that we do. They were easily a team that would get one of the easier opponents, and Aequus, obviously, it's been a sort of harsh situation for them, but that's how this tournament goes, and now they need to try and turn this one back. It's going to be a fast push in. Already Asylum there with the opener, looking for a little bit more, repositions, but has the help, and this is much better from the CT side. They've locked out the T's. Savage on the other side of the map is just looking to lurk, but there's nothing to lurk behind anymore. The bomb already down on the site. His teammate very low on HP, and you would hope that there's going to be somebody watching this flank, and you can already see the rotation coming out from Anarchist to make sure that nobody's coming in from behind. Pretty much the expected thing at this point. Now, there are a couple of low players, which could maybe make things a little bit more interesting, but chances are CyberZen aren't going to be able to do anything in this round.
I mean, okay, so they're just going to save then, I guess. All right. So Aequus is going to get another round up. And Savage is going to see a player, or is he running 4x3 yet? There he goes.
A little bit of a dicey battle, but he still manages to take the kill. Now, the CT side, I don't feel like they really want to throw any weapons away just for an AK or two. So just going to be defending that bomb, making sure there isn't any way that CyberZen can win this round. And, well, I feel like that's fairly impressive for Ponk to have 99 ADR and to be losing 14-3.
Yeah, and the thing was, there's a couple of rounds where, I think it was on Inferno, he was actually doing really not great, to be kind of nice about it. I'm actually going to check that really quickly while I have some time. Yeah, he was 13 and 19. Only person under him was Asylum at 8 and 22. So he had a rough time on Inferno. On Mirage, he was bottom fragging at 15-25. So he's starting to step up here. The question comes, is it a little bit too late, though, for the team to hold this one together? Realizing if they lose to, one round,
It's sort of like waking up 1 minute before a job interview and thinking you can make it.
Yeah, it's true. It's not the most ideal situation, but hey, we saw some crazier things happen already in this series. If you think back to Mirage, I don't want to say it's possible just yet, but it's not out of the books.
Yeah, CyberZen are actually going to force this one up behind the AKs. They don't have a particularly good economy in this situation, and okay, the loss bonus is going to start building up behind them, so it's not the end of the world. They'll be getting the maximum going into the next round anyway, so yeah, they can just hope for a bomb plant and that'll be enough, but they can also look to try and keep this low, but already utility damage will take TB down to just 33, and this could be interesting because the Molotov actually hasn't spread into the corner, so if there's some aggression here, there could be a bit of a problem for the CT side. However, by the looks of things, just going to play things a little bit safe. Smoke going to go down, not really willing to take any sort of face. They will just hold CyberZen out in this situation. That is something I've noticed in the past, that T-sides on train from some of the Asian teams have not been fantastic. So be interested to see if this continues. H said, that is a risky sort of play to make. Just basically hoping he can explode back up the ladder if anybody's to push in, because you're not going to hit that shot while sitting on it. But with 40 seconds left, there's the double drop. And now they look to find their openings.
Aequus hits the initial shot, hits a second as well. And him, Punked, and Zenser are able to hold this one down. The bomb's down on top of the train. And there we go, Aequus take the round. CyberZen, that lead they do have is slowly starting to close here. Only a 9-round difference here between the two teams. If Aequus pull this off, if they come back from this, it'll be one of the greatest comebacks in CS history that I've ever seen. Or at least been able to have the honor to cast. But still, again, don't want to get our hopes up just yet. It's a long road ahead of them. The road is slowly getting shorter as each round does go in their favor.
That was me.
Well, yeah, if it was Blood, it would be a really short road.
Well, just some pistols once again for the T's. They'll be having a big buy coming up in the next round.
Sorry, I could hear him from the green room. And what he said I can't repeat on air. Either way, we're going to see a big push in towards Ivy. Aequus is going to be overrun here, I would assume. He hits the first, though. He's able to back away. Most importantly, he's able to get in a good position. The problem is they're CZs, and CyberZen, well, they have a C and a Z in their name. And it's not going to work out in this round. Okay, never mind. He might Asylum now, the last man alive in a one-on-one. Do not tell me it comes down to the CZ victory yet again. Nade comes in, and Asylum is going to win the duel with 58 HP left. That was way too close for comfort, Tom.
Yeah, they must be so clenched right now they won't be able to sit down for a week because...
Make diamond out of coal.
Yeah, that is
cheeks.
Just scary, scary situations for the CT side. Now the buy comes in. So they could be reset going into what is likely the last round if they're unable to.
Double op setup though. Sensor and Aequus. Gets a nice tag onto Viva, who's actually been playing extremely well. We haven't, I don't think, said his name enough, even though he has been hitting amazing shots at the AWP and has been a solid player for him. It's been someone they definitely can rely on with him and Savage, at least on that CT side. But just as we saw the leg come in onto Viva, Pong's going to take one to the knee as well. And Savage is sneaking up, and he's going to gain a lot of ground here. No one's even looking towards him. The player in towards Hell, that's going to be Anarchist, doesn't even know he's been able to push up, and Pong's going to be overrun.
Oh, and he even misses the shot. That gives Savage a little bit more space, but he's got to be careful as there are still players pushing around behind him in CT. They've got some aggression out on towards the B side as well. There's a bit of a disjointed round coming in from the T side. The Bomb's still looking to try and rotate back, and it could be interesting as Viva's going to be trapped in. He only has 2 HP, but he's going to go down because of it. The Bomb dropped in a horrible position, and now the T's are on a bit of a retrieval mission, but they're still managing to find the frags. They've turned it back into a 2v3. The problem is this Bomb.
Oh, no.
Look at Savage. So well timed, so well placed every single time this team needs him to be. And look at Zenser. He's trying to come up the ladder with an AWP in his hand. He needs to perform a miracle. Runs into the flames. He's just going to burn down. He's only got 4 HP left. Made a bit of a mistake, a panic situation. And the Bomb's gone.
What? No! Oh, that could have been a 400 IQ play pushing through the smoke. He had the op. All he needed was those 2 shots. But he expected the second player to drop in towards the ladder. And now 15-6. Oh Oh man, 9 match points here for CyberZen.
Look at the buy.
Yeah, it's not good at all.
2 scouts, an M4, a Deagle, and trust the MP5. I know Banks will be happy with that.
I was literally just going to say that.
Out the CT side.
Banks like, they got this then. They got MP5, easy round, boys. Easy for Aequus Club. Well, that's how it goes, right?
Hey, he's going to be taking the challenge in towards Pop. I've done some damage onto Bottle already. Now the scouts, I'm a big fan of double scout setups. Obviously not in a round where you have a buy, but already that's a problem. HS managing to find the kill. I don't know if he knows there's another player there. He spotted Aequus and he's been overwhelmed as well. This is looking like the beginning of the end. As Savage looks to round the corner. Asylum at least trying to make the hero play. Maybe just made a little bit of space for his team. Maybe he needs to hit for the craziest 1-digs you've ever seen. He gets the first. Second coming around the corner as well. Punked, at least making things interesting. He's got control of the bomb as well. He's looking for more, gets the shot again. It's left all onto Bottle. Can he finish this? No, he can't. He at least makes it exciting towards the end, but it will be the end. CyberZen, they're going to take this one 16-6. Fairly dominant once more. A fantastic CT half. 14-1. And then, well, even though there was an attempted comeback 5 rounds in a row from Aequus, it just wasn't enough. Some sort of messier rounds in the end.
I'm glad he actually didn't hit that last shot because I don't think my voice could go any higher than it already had in that one. I mean, nonetheless, a 3-map series that was extremely long, but extremely exciting. I actually really enjoyed casting. I thought it was a really fun match. There's a lot of key moments from every single player, from every single team, and it was all in all pretty enjoyable. But in the meantime, that's enough from us here on the desk. We're gonna head back to the other desk to break down that last map.
Jason has to be nice, right? So he's got to say some sort of positive things about that. What the hell was going on, especially on them last few rounds? Again, questionable decisions. CyberZen do manage to make it work. Looks a lot better, not just now on Inferno, but obviously going on to Train as well. A lot more solidified. Did they just need to wake up a little bit, Blair?
Look, firstly, it was great watching these two guys go through the 5 stages of grief. Like, it was denial, shock, anger, and at one point, probably TF. Right, but at the end, all right, getting a little serious here. I think CyberZen finally woke up. They finally played the way we kind of expect them to play. Not the cleanest, not the most technical, not the most tactical, or sometimes not the most, sane Counter-Strike, so to speak. But that aggression they were throwing in the CT side completely shut down Aequus. But at the same time, on the other hand, for Aequus, it's more like, okay, there are two things they're doing. Firstly, they're waiting till like 20 seconds left on the clock, and they're getting funneled into a trap every single time. They're getting slaughtered by Savage and co. On the other hand, if they go for an execute, they don't wait to draw the utility. They know CyberZen is sitting on like $10,000 each, but they just go out for an execute with 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining on the clock, and they get shut down again. So that 14-1 scoreline was not surprising at all, looking the way they're playing. Little disappointed they kind of fell flat after showing so much of fight, so much of spirit in Mirage. But in the end, I think we kind of expected what we were expecting.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think CyberZen just needed to wake up. I don't think they were the better team. I think team play-wise, if you had to rate them against each other, I would even dare to say that Aequus had better team play and had better ideas on how they wanted to approach the game. But when it comes to the execution, when it comes to the individual level of the teams, there was a big disparity, without a doubt. And that's why CyberZen ended up winning this match so convincingly, I would say. They did lose Mirage, right? That was unnecessary, so to speak. There was a lot of mistakes made. No, it was unnecessary for their behalf, on their behalf in that regard. You know, it's a match they should have won because they are a better team, you know, when it comes down to the individual players, when it comes down to how you actually approach the game. It's a different talk. I think Aequus Club had a decent showing in that regard. I want to try to find the positive things for them as well. The Mirage game was a good showing for them, especially some of the after-plan situations they had. They used the utility correct. They played off each other. They played with each other, and that's something they can build upon. That's something they can take the experience from this event and build upon for the future. So in that regard, a few positive notes has to be noted down about this Aequus Club as well. That said, though, we got the right team to move on in the tournament. That's CyberZen, and they will now go up against Greyhound, where they have to be ready from the get-go, because Greyhound is a complete different beast.
And this is the thing here, right? We're going to talk about this game in a little bit more detail after this segment as well. But the whole thing now for CyberZen is at least you had some warm-up now. Now you have to come straight out the gates and doing well against a team like Greyhound, because that kind of performance we see early on there, it was not really acceptable from CyberZen.
Absolutely not. Like small little mistakes where even Aequus punished them, Greyhound are not just going to punish them. They're going to rip those hole wide open. They're going to go in deep, if you know what I'm trying to say here. And that's something which you don't want to happen, because Greyhound are not going to, they are going to punish you hard. They're not going to allow you the freedom to like roam roam around and do whatever you do, like these guys did against Aequus. So they need to pull up the pants, they need to like refocus, and they just have like 10 minutes remaining to do that.
Well, we've got a few more minutes remaining, but first of all, we are going to go over to Stunner, who's got Viva from CyberZen over there for an interview.
Viva from CyberZen, and we do have an invisible translator somewhere around here. I don't know where he is exactly. No, I'm kidding. It's the camouflage. Anyway, look, man, I've got some questions for you, mainly just two, right? So this one goes the full distance. What did CyberZen learn from this long, drawn-out matchup?
以色列队伍对我们给我们的冲击很大吧，因为他们的 rush 战术对我们让我们无法针对。从他们身上也算是学到了我们防 rush 的某些地方的不足吧。
So the Israel team is really strong, and their rush is really, really powerful. So we learned something from the anti-rush from their team.
Okay, short and sweet. Now, we've got to keep the show rolling here. You guys have a whole nother match on your hands. You're going to be playing Greyhound. So because you don't have a lot of time to prepare, what exactly is the game plan going up now against Greyhound with such short turnaround time?
就是说，你们现在马上就要去打灰狗了，然后你们的准备时间也不多，那你们现在有没有什么计划或者准备？
昨天因为我们对灰狗的认识不足，所以昨天我们并没有准备得当。但是我们昨天晚上研究了他们很多的 demo， 准备了很多，所以我觉得我们今天应该能复仇。
So yesterday, because we didn't learn much from their Greyhound demo, but yesterday we prepared a lot. So today I think we can revenge successfully.
Everybody likes a good, successful revenge, especially that of CyberZen. We're going to go ahead and head it back to the desk so we get into this best of three in a timely manner. And I'm going to wish you guys good luck. You too, man.
You too, man, as well. Thank you very much, Stunner. CyberZen, right? They've now got a really tough job against them. This is going to be rough for them. They need to bring their A game.
You know what I like? I like the fact that he said they prepared for Greyhound once again. So they must have assumed they would win this game. You know, they must have felt pretty confident. Sometimes you can say that's maybe not the best idea not to focus on the match you have upcoming, but it tells a little bit about the experience and sort of like definition they have on themselves, at least, that they believe they're good enough to just, you know, float through this matchup and focus on Greyhound, which is going to be the big task. So in that regard, you know, give me a little bit more hope that they're a little bit well prepared coming into this one, and we are hopefully going to see a little bit less mistakes being made.
You're an optimistic man. For me, here's the thing, right? They said they're prepared. Hopefully, it's a better veto process compared to yesterday. But yeah, hope to see something better from yesterday.
Well, let's see if we do see something better from yesterday. It's going to be Greyhound going up against CyberZen next. Stick with us, and we'll be back real soon.